Sit down with your legs crossed and your palms upwards to God, and as you sit there, could you contemplate about instincts and the formation of saliva in your barren mouth, the temperature of your teeth, they sit solidly upon your lumbering tongue, wriggling beneath the weight, your lips crackling as the air settles and pushes against the skin, the weight of your cells as they fight for survival despite their inevitable death. Flaked skin and dry elbows, swallow. Feel the form move down your throat like a marble in a sock, your body resisting its own offspring. Think again of instincts, of the caterpillar forming the cocoon, its organs peeling off into a spool of liquefied tendons, swallow. The papery texture of its pod, like the peeling of glue from your childish hand, stretched tight across the skeleton. Chewed matter and residual nourishment, swallow. The fattened sloth entombed in its own death chamber, in a desperate attempt of betterment and redemption, as though the contents of one's stomach can coagulate into the bettered form, swallow. Now imagine the artist, the imagined and the vessel, fighting to make themselves edible for your own aftertaste of enjoyment, swallow. The communal affair of shared sins and desire, the happening that morphs into the grotesque and licks at the wound of sadistic enjoyment, swallow. Surplus rituals drool from lacerations of excess, flagellating the fringed edges of cultured habits and self-image, swallow. Dressed in punctured stockings, legs wrapped around the throat of ornamented history, they stand there with an appetite for palatal orgasms, swallow. The connection between this hedonistic being and the vice, between the onlooker and the deformed, caged and captured, swallow. Deliberate your body as a whole, feel every scrap of meat bound together with ropes of sinew, tugging like a ship in the rain, heavy in this wrinkled sack, swallow. Sense your sexuality at the base of your navel, stroking its tongue at the inside of your legs, begging for attention and feeding, swallow. Desire accumulating into currency, slipping into society's preordained slot machine, the shudder of salty suggestions depositing themselves into heaps in every possible hollowed space, swallow. Remember the first time you were touched by your hand or theirs, hitched breathing and lived reactions, swallow. Inhalations of scent and raised hairs as you spooled away from your core, swallow. Damp corners as your essence is saturated with arousal, sweetened liberation, masticating your edges and nibbling at your ears, swallow. Like a marble in a sock, your body resisting its own offspring, think again of begging for attention and feeding, swallow. Desire accumulating into currency, wriggling beneath the weight, your lips cracking as the air settles and pushes against the skin. The weight of your cells as they fight for survival despite their inevitable connection between a hedonistic being and the vice, between the onlooker and the history. They stand there with an appetite for palatal orgasms, swallow. The death, flaked skin and dry elbows, swallow. Feel the form move down your throat, sins and desire, the happening that morphs into the grotesque and licks at the excess, flagellating the fringed edges of cultured habits and self-image, swallow. Deliberate your body as a whole, feel every scrap of meat bound together with ropes, slipping into society's preordained slot machine, the shudder of salty suggestions of sinew, tugging like a ship in the rain, heavy in this wrinkled sack, swallow. Sense, deformed, caged and captured, swallow. Edible for your own aftertaste of enjoyment, swallow. The communal affair of shared sexuality at the base of your navel, stroking its tongue at the inside of your legs, depositing themselves into heaps in every possible hollowed space. Swallow. Away from your core. Swallow. Damp corners as your essence is saturated with arousal, liquefied tendons. Swallow. The papery texture of its pod, like the peeling of glue, contents of one stomach can coagulate into the bettered form. Swallow. Now imagine the artist, the imagined and the vessel, fighting to make themselves from your childish hands stretched tight across the skeleton. Chewed matter and lived reactions. Swallow. Inhalations of scent and raised hairs as you spooled, dressed in punctured stockings, legs wrapped around the throat of ornamented chamber in a desperate attempt of betterment and redemption, as though the sweetened liberation masticating your edges and nibbling at your ears. Swallow. Remember the first time you were touched by your hand or theirs, hitched breathing instincts of the caterpillar forming the cocoon, its organs peeling off into a spool of residual nourishment. Swallow. The fattened sloth entombed in its own death, could you contemplate about instincts and the formation of saliva in your barren mouth, wound of sadistic enjoyment? Swallow. Rituals drool from lacerations of mouth, the temperature of your teeth would sit solidly upon your lumbering tongue. Sit down with your legs crossed and your palms upward to God. Swallow.